Welcome to the Techie Tessie channel. My name is Tess, and today I'll be seeing if ChatGPT can solve Leetcode problems.
Bombastic side eye. Criminal offensive side eye. Do you understand?
For those of you who don't know, ChatGPT is a chatbot that was launched by OpenAI a few months ago, and it's gained a lot of attention recently, especially in the academic space, as lecturers are worried that students will start asking it for coursework and exam answers. My opinion is that it's a resource like the internet. We have open book exams now where students can literally look up the answers to their exam questions, so I don't see why the rules for using chatbots should be much different. I think the education system just needs to catch up.
I know that's right!
And instead of focusing on rote learning and relying on memory, universities and schools should be teaching students how to effectively utilise the tools and resources out there.
I know that's right!
I've been talking for long enough, so let's get ChatGPT running and actually see how well it solves common programming problems. Okay, so the first Leetcode problem we're going to try and get the chatbot to solve is the Fibonacci sequence. And for those of you who don't know what the Fibonacci sequence is, it's the order of how pine cones open, which is super cool. We love maths and nature. So how it works is like this. So you've got this curve going round, and I'll show you the maths for it now. So this is my own solution, and I've already made sure it works. So with this equation, if your number that you're looking at is less than or equal to 1, just return that number since the Fibonacci sequence starts at 1. Else we do this equation. So for example, if n was 8, we'd do 8 minus 1, which is 7, plus n minus 2, so 8 minus 2, which is 6. 7 plus 6 is 13. And as you can see, after 8 in the sequence comes 13. So that's what we're doing. And just to show you that my solution here works, and this is written in C#, by the way. Yep, accepted, so my solution works. So let's try and ask ChatGPT to do this, okay? Solve the Fibonacci sequence. How would I word this? Or just like calculate it? I don't know. Let's try it. Calculate the Fibonacci sequence by make a method and see my wording. Make a method in C# to calculate the Fibonacci sequence. So let's see what it comes up with here. Certainly. Oh, using a list. Oh. Already this code is way more complicated than mine. So this is interesting because, oh, it's giving me more. Okay. No, so the reason I wanted to do this is because, yes, there's a lot of like people saying, oh yes, if you know, ChatGPT, it's the new latest greatest thing. Anything you want to know, just type it in. But in the programming space, there's been a lot of scrutiny because of its lack of accuracy, and that it should be treated more as a guideline rather than a rule.
The code is more what you call guidelines than actual rules. Welcome aboard the Black Pearl.
Like, you shouldn't trust exactly what it says, but use it as like Stack Overflow. You shouldn't just copy and paste it from Stack Overflow, but use it as like guidance. So let's see what on earth it's done. So it created a list of integers. Why can't I see all of this? Okay. And then it's adding two numbers. Then it's looping around them all. Oh, okay. It's doing the same thing, but in a loop. Whereas I just did like an if statement. So let me show you what let's compare. Yeah, so I didn't do like a loop, I just did like if else. So basically if it's not 1, then keep doing this. Whereas this is just looping. But it's doing the same equation as we've got. Number 1 minus 1 plus number minus 2. So it's making a list of the Fibonacci numbers, whereas mine's just input. Mine isn't generating a list of them. Mine's just like, oh, take this one number and tell me basically what's next. So that's interesting. See, that's the thing as well. Like, you have to be super clear when you're talking to a chatbot. Like, I should have said, like, well, it just assumed I wanted the list of all of the numbers, not just calculating the next one. Okay, so the next Leetcode problem we're going to look at is checking if two string arrays are equivalent. So what I've done is I've made two string builders, and we basically say for each string in Word, append it to the string builder, and then return true or false if the two strings are equal. Simple enough, right? So I've already plugged this into ChatGPT to see what it thought. I just asked it to create a method in C# to check if two string arrays are equivalent. And I have some thoughts, of course. So with mine, I literally just had return true or false. That was it. Nice and clean and simple. Whereas here, it had a bunch of conditions. It has a condition, and then another condition, and a loop to check that condition before saying if we made it this far, then they're equivalent. So it's basically said if the array lengths are different, then return false because they're not equal, then loop, then if the two elements of the arrays don't match, then return false. So it's just very inefficient because it's like, check this, okay, false, check this, okay, false, okay, if they're both false, then, you know, screw that, and then if we made it this far, then yeah, it's true, they're equal. I had one check, are they equal? Yes or no, end of story. Whereas this is like, oh, check this, then check this, okay, now we're here. So yes, this works, but in such a horrible, unnecessary fashion. So I get what people are saying now. Like, yes, their solutions, the solutions it comes up with might work, but they're just not very good. Like, this is such a simple problem. Like, they didn't have to make a whole bunch of different conditions. Just say, take these two things, are they equal? So this has been an interesting little experiment. I've been wanting to do this for a while, but I've been kind of busy. But I'm so glad to be back with you guys. I hope you guys are glad to see me again. So I want you guys to try this out when you're solving your Leetcode problems. You know, come up with your own solution first. Make sure it works by submitting it. And then hand it over to ChatGPT. I always struggle to say it. And see what it does. Is your solution better? Is their solution better? What's bad about it? Let me know in the comments what your findings are, because I am getting so many questions about ChatGPT. It's crazy, and there's so many different varying opinions, so many different caveats, so many different pros and cons, but your guys' opinion is the most important to me, honestly. So I would love to hear what you guys think. I hope you found this video helpful. Be sure to like, subscribe, and keep the code coming. I'll see you next time.